Hey guys, welcome to New AIT again. And I'm just sitting here in my car. I just got through training some students in the our Atlanta campus, and we got to talking about Kawhi Leonard, the NBA player who just signed a $142 million contract or whatnot, and this is over 4 years. And so we actually did the math because you guys know that NBA players don't they actually don't work for the whole year. They only work about six months a year, and maybe it's really 5 months. So by the time we actually did the math, we realized that he makes about $211,000 per day, right? By the time we actually broke it down, as far as his days off and whatnot. And then we was also talking about the Coco Golf, the 15-year-old tennis player who's really doing well in the Wimbledon. She's moved to the fourth round, and if she wins another round, she's in line to make some money and to get some pretty huge endorsements and whatnot. So so after we talked about that, and I just basically told the students that the key point to both of these stories is, listen, skill has no respect for age or whatnot, right? I keep telling people that skill has no respect of age. Like in this country, especially in America, just for you guys, just for you guys that actually don't know. So my history is, my parents are Nigerian, so I'm African. So, but I was born and raised in Washington D.C. So, so I can see it from both worlds. I went to school in D.C. Went to public school in D.C. I went to college in D.C. Born and raised here or whatnot. So, I kind of see it from both worlds. But my formative years were actually in Africa. And one thing that being in Africa really taught me was not necessarily hard work, but appreciation for the things that I see a lot of people that live in America actually take for granted. Like for instance, like in Nigeria, like the opportunities are so limited as far as, just from basic things, just like electricity, schools, and so on and so forth. Like, and I'm sure it's not only in Nigeria, but I'm sure in India and stuff like that, places in remote places all over the world, it's kind of like that. So the point is, when you go through that, because like if you go in Nigeria, for instance, like a 4 year degree can actually take you 8 years, just simply because there's a strike, or teachers are not being paid, there's riots, there's violence and stuff like that. But the sad part about the whole about being in school in Nigeria is the fact that even after you're done with college, like there are no jobs waiting for people after they're finished, which is pretty sad. It's pretty sad. Just simply because, like the government is in shambles, and it's just a bad company in a lot of areas. Not in every area, but just in a lot of areas as far as investments in the children and so on and so forth. Right? It's just really sad. So so I've lived through all that. I've lived through just like you living in your house and you have nothing but mosquitoes. There's no electricity. It's just a hustle. It's just a complete hustle. Each time that when you're at home, it's just it's stressful and all that good stuff. So my formative years was like that. So I was in Nigeria till I was around about 10 years old. Then I finally came back over here. Then I started my junior high school, whatnot, right? So after I was done with that, then I went to college and whatnot. But the thing I learned the most from Nigeria was when I finally came back to America. It seemed like America was such a breeze. It seemed like it was so easy. Like school was easy. Like we had everything. It seemed like this was heaven. Like we had everything here. We had electricity. We had food. We had running water. We had no mosquitoes, we had paved roads, we had education, we had an outlet, for education, right? We had all of that, right? We had all of that, that was just at our disposal, right? We didn't have to wait and do all that good stuff or whatnot. But so coming to America was just such a blessing, and I still think America is the greatest country in the world. So I say that to say, and it ties into the to the title of my of this video, which is there is no reason why black people should be poor. So when I came over here to America, I just kind of noticed that I see a lot of black people struggling. The black middle class is like basically non-existent. Um, I listen to Tony talks a lot, and he says like the average black middle class family is worth like what was it, less than something like less than $1,000 or some crazy, but or less, and that's without the car or whatnot. And but white people, their average net worth is about it's about $120,000, something like that. So I come to figure out, like, I just don't understand, like, why is it that black people struggle so much, right? Especially because I just didn't get it, and I just didn't get it when I first came here, because what I was seeing was a lot of Africans when they come from, well, I can only speak for Nigeria, but Africans when they come to America, it seems like Africans do a lot better than African Americans that are already here. So I just started wondering, like, what is what's I don't understand the dichotomy. I don't understand the divergence. Like, what's going on? Like, what's missing? What am I missing in that? So after all my years of going through struggles, and before actually becoming a DBA myself, I went to the military and so on and so forth. Before I stumbled into the IT career, one thing I think I finally figured out what the issue was, because the average African that actually comes to America, it's going to be hard for you to find an African that's living below the poverty line. It's also going to be hard for you to find an African that's in abject poverty, that's living in the ghetto. Like, I'm not saying that they're not, but it's going to be kind of, you're going to have to do some fishing to actually find that, right? And I think the reason, after thinking about this long and hard, and after going through my trials and tribulations myself, and being where I am now, the one thing that I can say that Africans do not mess with at all when they actually come to this country is they do not mess with practical education, right? One thing, because when I went to in my high school, from my 10th grade to my 11th grade to my 12th grade, every valedictorian was actually Nigerian. Every valedictorian was Nigerian, and even my sister was in my school. She's older than me by 2 years, and her valedictorian for that class was from Nigeria, right? And one thing I noticed in high school was it seemed like African Americans, they really took, not all, of course, not all, but from my experience, this is what my experience. I'm not generalizing or anything like that. From my experience when I went to Theodore Roosevelt High School, it was such a culture shock. Why? Just simply because I wasn't used to a lot of things that I was seeing. Like, for instance, back home, education, respect, in Nigeria, education respect is a big deal, and some submission to your elders is a big deal. But when I came over here, like, the students were rude to teachers. We saw young girls like 16, 15 getting pregnant, like students smoking weed in the hallways, being belligerent, just skipping classes, and just not taking the entire education experience like really, really seriously. Whereas Nigerians, like, Africans in my school, we were just like, oh, fuck this, like we got everything. You know what I'm saying? Like, shoot, we got McDonald's, we got supermarkets, like, you know, we got all this stuff. Like, there is no reason for us to, because the thing about it is, we never want to go back to Nigeria, just simply because of how hard we know how hard it could be from where we're coming from. You know what I mean? So one thing that kind of pulled us through, as I'm talking about as far as Africans, from my experience, is just a simple fact that we did not play with our education whatsoever. We did not play at all. It was like the top priority that was stressed to us by our parents and so on and so forth. And one thing that I could see from African Americans was the fact that uh, they just didn't take it seriously. Like if you look at the Chinese, they take it super seriously, right? You know, they take it really serious. Like it seems like a lot of foreigners that come to America, like they take education really seriously, right? So when we talk about education, what exactly are we talking about? We're talking about amassing skill, right? Now, from a high school experience, like what you're doing is you're building that discipline and so on and so forth. Then you transfer that to college. You're building that same discipline that you got in in high school. It's hopefully the same discipline that's going to pull you through college, right? Now, college is a scam. Yes, we know there's a whole different ballgame, right? But the point I'm trying to make is if you're disciplined in college, you're able to build enough skills to actually get you a decent job, right? And it's also the same thing that I'm saying when it comes to any of the STEM programs that are out there. It doesn't have to be just our course. It could be a course that you take, any online course, whatever course you want to take as far as STEM is concerned, right? Because they're the highest paying careers. The point I'm trying to make is skill is what's going to get you out of the poorhouse, right? Take it from me. I went from the poorhouse to the penthouse. I've lived that life, so it's not really a big deal. But what actually pulled me through from getting me from the poorhouse to the penthouse is just simply me amassing skills, marketable skills that marketable skills that is actually appreciated by the marketplace. It's really as simple as that. I'm not saying you go to just because you went to college does not mean anything. You went to college and you got a psychology degree, that was a waste of money and time. You went to college and got a sociology degree, that's a waste of money and time. Arts and science degree, that's a waste of money and time, right? Right now you're in debt, you're in a hole, you're regretting it, right? But if you took the time and you actually educated yourself, whether through some kind of STEM program or you went to college for some kind of STEM degree, I'm sure you're not regretting life, right? So the point I'm trying to make is in my opinion, there is no reason why black people should ever be poor. And when I say poor, there is no reason why black people in general should not be making at least a minimum of $80,000 to $85,000 per year. That is just my opinion, right? If you can't make $80,000 to $85,000 a year, right? Again, I'm not saying no matter what your age is, actually, and I'm even going to put that out there. No matter what your age is, other than let's just say keep it 100. Let's say over 18 years old. If you're not making between $80,000 and $85,000 per year, and you're 18 years old, then you've kind of messed up somewhere, right? Now you might be asking, how's an 18 to 80 to 18-year-old? How's that person going to make $80,000 to $85,000 per year? You have the internet, right? There's so many things you can learn. Remember, like I told you guys in the beginning of this video, skill is no respecter of age. Skill doesn't care about what your age is, right? As long as you can provide a service that people enjoy, it doesn't matter what your age is. So can you imagine if you're 18 years old, but you are a master at creating websites, right? And you charge $5,000 per website, right? And you did like 3 websites per month or 2 websites per month. That's $120,000. It doesn't matter what your age is, right? So this is why I say there is no reason why black people should be poor. Simply because it's all about skill acquisition. It's all about knowledge acquisition, right? For those of you who read the Bible, it's written that you should buy wisdom and never sell it. They knew what they were talking about in the Bible, right? So I'm just going to leave you guys with that. For those of you who want to get into STEM careers, for those of you who want to get into Oracle, you can always go to our website, New Way IT Solutions. Our next class starts the first week of August, right? So for those of you who want to join, you're welcome to sign up or whatnot. You don't have to join my class or whatever. You can join the other people's classes. But again, this week we've had about four people who've actually got jobs. 4 people. Well, 3 of them have okay. Let me go back. 2 of them have actually gotten jobs. 2 of them are in the final stages of interviews, and one of them and two of them are actually going to get promoted because they actually took our course, right? So it's really about six of them. So, and the reason why all this happened is because they actually took action and they actually took the course. You don't have to believe me, but it is what it is. If you guys check online to see how much Oracle DBAs get paid, they get paid six figures. So how I'm going to leave you guys is simply this: for anything to happen for you, you're the one that's going to have to take charge. You can pray to God all you want to. You can hope and dream and all that, but it's a kind of a scary thing. It's kind of a scary thing right now, knowing that for anything to happen in your life, you're the one that's going to have to take charge. You're the one that's going to have to do it. Nobody else is going to do this for you, right? You're the one that's going to have to do it. Nobody else is going to do this for you, right? It's kind of scary, right? But it's also kind of liberating, just simply because, well, if I follow this step, right, then this is what's going to happen. But if I don't follow this step, then this is what my life is going to be like for the next year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. So whatever your life is right now, if you're not happy with it, if you do not take some kind of action, that's transformative, right, to change that your trajectory, right? Guess what your life is going to look like in the next 5 years? It's going to look like this, and probably even worse, because things are going to get even more expensive and life happens. Something tragic could happen in your life. You can have a medical issue or so on and so forth, right? So if you're not building yourself up for what's going to happen over the next 5 years, then you're making a serious mistake. Another thing I tell my students all the time is this: there is no safety in safety. The only safety is in growth. I'll say this again. There is no safety in safety. The only safety is in growth. If you're not growing, you're dying. I can't stress this out enough, right? One thing I've noticed is, in the husband and wife dynamic is sometimes the wife could be more concerned about like keeping the wealth and not spending money and so on and so forth. But you can have the partner who wants to grow, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, who wants to grow and tap into that, invest in himself, and so on and so forth. That's the right attitude that you guys need to have, right? You can't sleep on your laurels. There is no such thing as safety in safety. You got to keep growing, right? You got to keep growing. Because why do you want to keep growing? Because when I say growing, what I'm saying is you need to harden your skills by growing and investing in yourself and growing and hardening your skills. Why? Because if you choose to stay in the corporate world, if you don't harden your skills and if you're not solid in your skills, you're going to get replaced, right? So don't think that you're safe at any time. The only safety is in growth. So again, my mission in life is just to make sure that all people, right, are making between $80,000 to $85,000 minimum per year. I just can't see, and this is just one person in the household. I'm not talking about that joint income. No, your wife should be making 85 a piece at least, right? And that's my mission, right? That's really my mission. I get more happy when my students actually call me and tell me that they've actually gotten jobs, versus when you've actually paid me a skill, because I believe in win-win. It's all about the win-win. If you get a job, I win in so many other ways. Because why? Because then you refer, blah, 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 blah. You know what I'm saying? So it's like a win-win, right? So why do I have to work hard to ensure that you got a job? Why do I have to work hard to ensure that the website is in place? Why do I have to make sure that the videos are in place? Why do I have to make sure that I'm teaching the materials correctly? Simply because I need you to get a job. It's not about the money per se. Yeah, we all have to make a living. But that's not the point. The point is you got to have a job because it's a win-win. So everybody wins. That's the message of this motto. Now you can go to a college, but tell me the last time a college ever gave two craps about whether or not you got a job or not. Tell me the last time a college actually did that. The colleges don't care. What they care about is getting the government's money, right? And then charging you an interest and blah, 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 blah. You guys know the story. You guys know that college is a waste. if especially if you're not in a STEM career, and you guys know it's a waste of time. 4 years to leave college, and you're making $40,000 or $35,000 or 15 bucks per year. Really? When you can come to this course and make come and spend 10 weeks with us and start off making between 100 whatever thousand it is, right? So again, if you guys think $100,000 is a lot of money, you're sadly mistaken. Like I just told you guys in the beginning of the video, Kawhi Leonard makes $211,000 per day. So $100,000 a year is not a lot of money. So again, forget all the other stuff. Forget the racism. Forget the yeah, this guy's lying to you. He's selling you a bag of dreams. What dreams? It's only $100,000 a year. If somebody, I see that, Mr. John Doe. Yeah, good. If you didn't finish college, then that's great. And by the way, Mr. John Doe, so no, you do not need a bachelor's degree for the certifications. As a matter of fact, some of the major companies right now, Google, Bank of America, the major companies, Tesla, they don't even care about your college degree anymore. They're not even asking for people with college degrees anymore. It's not even one of their main priorities. You can actually Google that, right? Google, Bank of America, some of the Fortune 500 companies, they're actually not even, they don't even care anymore about college degrees anymore. Why? Because it's a dime a dozen, and they're starting to realize that colleges actually do not actually prepare you at all for any practical. I'm talking about for any practical on the job performance, right? So right now, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to actually develop schools all around the world, right, where you actually have practical skills that parlay into an industry that you can use from day one. It's a go, and you're making a lot of money. So one cool thing about our course is, one, we ain't got all day to be, we ain't got 4 years to be, to be messing around with this thing. We got about 10 to 12 weeks to get this thing right. 10 to 12 weeks to get this thing right so we can make $100,000 and keep it moving, right? One cool thing about being an Oracle DBA is just simply the fact that you can work from home 100%, no problem. And you can do two jobs at the same time. So can you imagine right now if you're making $40,000 a year within 4 months? You're working two jobs as an Oracle DBA, working from home. Now you're making $250,000 per year. It's all possible, guys. It's all possible. It's all about skills. You got to get the skills. You got to get the knowledge base. It's all possible. So again, I'll leave you guys with this. I don't care what anybody says. In this day and age, in 2019, there is no excuse for black people being poor. Don't want to hear that shit. Don't give me that shit. I don't want to hear it. If you're not making $80,000 to $85,000 per year, I don't want to hear it. You got the internet. You can start a business, and if you don't want to start a business, you can do the corporate world. And if you want to be in the corporate world, you better be in STEM. And if you want to be in STEM, you better be in IT, right? If you don't have time to be a doctor because that's part of STEM, then you better be in IT. And if you want to be in IT, you can take a course that's online, that's not long. Once you do that and you really master your skills, and then you apply for jobs, they're going to call you. Now, are you going to be prepared? Because if they like what they're hearing, they're going to hire you, and they're going to give you $100,000. So what's the excuse? What exactly is the excuse? There is no excuse. It happened for me. I got a job in 24 hours when I was coming up. I'm learning this Oracle thing. So I went in for an interview on Wednesday. On Thursday, I got a job. Well, actually, I put my resume out there on Wednesday. On Thursday, I interviewed. On Friday, I started the job. Got a job in 24 hours, just like that. So, when I actually got the job, I was actually really, really broke. So they actually wanted me to start that next Monday, but I told them no. I would start on Monday, on that Friday. This is simply because I needed, because I needed that 1 day's check, right? Because I was gonna get $500 from that 1 day of me working on that Friday, right? So because we got paid every week or so, every 2 weeks. I can't remember my first job, whatever. So when I started that week, I got my first paycheck the next Friday. right? So my first paycheck was like five, or it was like 400 and it was like 480 something, right? So I needed every penny of that for that one day, right? And then once I got that I was able to calm down. And then 2 weeks later, I got my first check was like $5,000 or 4,000 something, and that was a huge, whew, it was a huge woosah, right? So then I started getting some money into my pocket. Then I felt good about myself, and then the rest is history. But none of this would have happened if I didn't pay the price of hard work, right? When I started learning to be a DBA, man, I paid the price. I sat down there and I really paid the price. I worked hard and I paid the price. I did all my homework assignments. I mean, I really dug in and I really sat down. Now, it's up to you guys. If you don't think you can make $100,000 relatively quickly by the end of this year, that's on you, right? Then you don't even have to watch this video. Keep living the life that you're living, and guess what? In 2 3 years, that's probably what's gonna. That's probably where you're gonna be. The same place. You haven't moved an inch. You're just kind of just walking through life without really taking action. But if you think by next year you can be doing two jobs where you're making $250,000, or one job making $250,000, then keep listening. Then you don't have to join my course. You can join other courses. Again, guys, I don't care if you join our course. That's fine, right? You don't have to join our course. What I am saying is join some course. Do something that's going to change your life, that's going to change your family's life, that's going to make you keep moving forward, right? Okay, guys, so our next class starts beginning of August. For those of you who are in the military, and if you are in the DNV, or if you are a veteran, right? You can take our classes for free. You can just contact us, and then we have some grants that you can register for that would enable you to take the class for free. For those of you who are in the Atlanta area, also if you're a veteran, we can do it for free. The grants and all that good stuff. So I'm looking for ways, guys, to make this process so much smoother. Also, guys, just a quick update. We're also registering our business with Workforce or whatnot. So for those of you, whether you're in the military or not, just give us till October. All this should be squared away. So regardless of whether or not you're in the military or whatnot, you can potentially take the class for free. But for those of you who are not patient, then hey, take the class anyway, right? Take the class. Again, it's not guaranteed that it's not actually guaranteed that we're actually going to get the be registered with Workforce, but it is what it is. We're putting the paperwork on and whatnot. So our next class is going to be the first week of October, but again, we're going to be sharing more videos and give you the exact dates, right? We have 3 locations right now. We're in Atlanta. Our Atlanta class is always going to be on Saturdays, the first Saturday. It was going to be on Saturdays. It's going to be 10 Saturdays. Our Maryland class is typically Monday and Tuesdays. Our Virginia locations is typically Wednesday and Thursdays from 6 to 10 p.m. Right? When are your classes in 2020? Right? Again, all these the schedules will be posted, and the videos are actually going to be and the videos I'll be explaining when there is, and you're also going to get text messages and whatnot. You guys should be getting all that from us, but you will be informed as far as when our next class is going to be. So guys, now's the time to take action, especially those of you guys who actually want. This is the best time to actually get into one of these corporate gigs as far as the Orca DBA, because this is year end, right? Year end. People are going on vacations, right? So by the time you finish with the course, it's going to be October. The DBAs are going to be going on vacation. They're not going to care who they hire, right? And then the fiscal year is going to be closed. So again, all these agencies, if they don't spend the money, they're going to lose it. So there's going to be a hiring spree. So guys, now's the best time to take the course, right? For those of you who are interested, I don't care what course you take. Just take something and try to change your life. So again, there is no reason why you should not be making $80,000 to $85,000. Guys, help me change everybody's life, right? Because I'm black, obviously, I'm predisposed to black people. I do not want black people to continue not making $80,000 to $85,000 per year. So if you're black, you've seen this video, I'm giving you the blueprint. So let's get it, right? But I don't care what your color is. I really don't give two shits. My objective is to train as many people so they can change their family's life. So anyway, guys, again, the videos will be posted more frequently now, and when the classes are going to be, you guys are going to know. All right, talk to you guys soon.